Hey, yo, what's poppin'? I'm Chad, and we got the host and ready to dive into the panel. So let's get started. The eyebrow raising, toothpick throwing, step on the gas, he's going to whoop your ass. It's none other than Seawater 19. Yo.
What's going on, Chad? So glad to be here. Once again, it's 10 p.m. on a Friday night, Eastern Standard Time. So you know what that means. I've got some echo action going on. But oh well. We're going to go ahead and get right to the panel here, starting with returning for a second week. We've got the team Cat Ren Figures. What is going on?
Hi,
guys.
Glad you guys are back. Next up, we got the master presser himself, Paul, Midwest Comic Man. What is going on, Paul?
Same old shit, different day.
All right.
But we're here. We're having a good time.
Next up, he just got out of the live stream with Comic Tom 101 that had 125 plus live viewers. So big congratulations to Comics with Bueller. What is going on, Bueller?
I'm excited to be here tonight. I had a great time with Comic Tom, and now I get to spend the rest of the night with my Comic Corp brothers. But real quick, I forgot to do this, and I want to give a quick shout out to someone that's in the chat. Robert Galvin, he gave a super chat on my live stream that I didn't have time to get to. I just wanted to tell Robert Galvin, thank you so much, my friend. And thanks everybody who watched that one, who is now in this one. We're going to have a good time tonight.
Yes, not to be confused with Robert Gibson from the Rock and Roll Express. Robert Galvin. Big shout out to Robert Galvin. We love you, man. Before we get into our picks of the week, I do want to hop into the chat because we got an all-star chat as well. We got Brett Hess Art. He says, hardcore, baby. So there we go for Brett Hess Art. Once again, we got Robert Galvin saying hello to everyone in the chat. Cool Comics Collector. He says, of course he's early. He's looking forward to the show, it looks like. So we thank everybody who showed up early. Wait a minute. Let me just check under my chair real quick. Oh, I found the sub. That means Jeremy Edwards is in the chat. What is going on, Jeremy Edwards? What's here, man? Former Comic Corp bro, still a bro in all of our hearts. Jeremy Edwards, we're happy to have you, man. Looks like we've got the Slab Dragon himself, TJ Watson. We're always happy to see him in the chat. We got Michael Porson. He's becoming a regular in that chat, so we're happy to have him back once again this week. Next up, he is tending a bar, so he'll be participating tonight, but I know he'll listen on the rewind. Comics Must Explain. Hopefully, maybe that guy can get one day off so he can finally be on this panel, but we love having Comics Must Explain on the show, and we can. Next up, we got Sam's Tangled Web. I believe that's Bueller's moderator now, so big congrats on your Bullrich, Sam's Tangled Web.
Yep.
Let's see who else. Probably got to scroll down. Former guest of the Comic Corp, we got Real Comic Book Talk. Those guys were awesome when you guys went to Baltimore Comic Con, so glad to see them back in the chat again. And without further ado, I'll just go ahead and get into my pick of the week first. It's actually from last week. Actually, I'm going to have two picks of the week. I'm going to cheat because I'm the host again. So I'm going to cheat and have two picks of the week, one from last week and one from this week. So first off, I do want to talk about, and Cat Ren Figures reviewed this on her channel and made me actually want to read it and pick it up. That's Exorcisters #1.
Yeah.
I love this book. I had to get it for the Tia Guerra cover, of course, because, you know, why the last man mark here? But actually, I was incredibly surprised in how awesome this story was. Basically, it's the story of, I guess, one sister's two sisters. I won't go too much into spoilers. We're going to say two sisters. They're kind of just going through their magical hijinks. The story starts off. Couple's getting married. The groom, basically, his soul gets claimed to hell, or so we think. The Exorcisters team up with the bride to get to the bottom of it. I don't really want to say too much more else than that, but I do recommend this title. I immediately put it on my pull list. It was a lot of fun. But my pick that actually came out this week, I have to talk about Shanghai Red, the finale of this whole arc. Actually, I'd say arc is the finale of the series. It was just a 5-issue mini, it turned out. I thought it was going on for longer, but you know, unfortunately, they just wanted to do a 5-issue miniseries, and you know, you could tell they planned this whole thing out. So I was very happy with the ending. Red, Jack, whatever you want to call Molly, whatever you want to call the main character of this book, she has different personas by the end of it. It is a very satisfying conclusion for our main character. Finally, we put up with 5 issues of BS to get to the point of the last panel of this issue. So if you guys like revenge thrillers and like pre-1900s type stuff, check out Shanghai Red. number 5. It'll probably be out in a trade pretty soon, so I highly recommend this trade. So that's my pick of the week. But I do want to say a special hello to the 27-time World Heavyweight Champion we've got joining the panel, the Great Legend Show. What is going on, Great Legend?
Man, thank you, Carson. It's good to be here tonight on Comic Corp. Sorry I'm running a little late. Can't even turn the light on in here. It's so dark, but it's great to be here. And got some good comics to talk about tonight.
Awesome. All right. Oh, sorry. We got Fire's Revenge in the chat. He sounds like I'm underwater, so that means I need to get one of those Blue Yeti mics that everybody loves so much, I guess. So we'll go ahead and get into the picks again. So, Chad, what have you read this week?
Did you say something?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you hear me? Yeah, I'm sorry. Pick of the week. My pick of the week was Edgar Allan Poe's Sniffer of Terror. And I like this. It Tales from the Crypt style. It's from Ahoy Comics. In this one, it's kind of cool because Edgar Allan Poe, he's essentially the Crypt Keeper, and he tells some really, really graphic stories. Great for the Halloween. Love to see where this book's going. Super, super gross. And yeah, I liked it so much. I got 2 and 1 to give away.
Are you going to give one away?
I am, but here's the thing.
Is that why you got 2 of them?
That's why. But
who gets it? Can I have it?
You want it, but the problem is we keep on doing giveaways and nobody gives us their address. So I will make sure that we leave our email in it, and let's give it away. Where is it? Oh, I got all kinds of giveaways. We can do that later.
All right. Just to say when, or was it Quando?
Quando. Damn it, there goes my question.
Yeah, Germany needs more free books from Chad. He's going to say Quando. Anyway, Catrin, what did you read this week?
Okay, well, I read 2 very big books this week, but the one I think we all agreed we definitely need to talk about, and that is Heroes in Crisis, issue 2. So this continues with the Sanctuary storyline and the Trinity chasing after both Harley Quinn and Booster Gold, trying to find out answers attached to both and what exactly happened, how exactly all these heroes were just completely wiped out, and we get a little bit of a bomb dropped on us, and that is possibly that Poison Ivy may have been among the victims. How'd you feel?
Should we just get into this now, guys?
Yes.
Okay, Chad wants to get to it now, and it's on my brain too. So I respect your pick as this pick. I mean, I did find this a very easy read. I will say that I for the most part enjoyed reading it. I did like that we finally got some Skeets action with Booster Gold in it. I always like my Booster Gold and Skeets team up, even though, you know, Skeets, he's the smart one. Obviously, he's a robot that travels through time, so he's smart. And then Booster's the moron, so that definitely comes through in this book big time. And I really like that scene where the idiot Booster goes to Flash first, and he's like, "Oh, I don't know what happened here." And then Flash is like, "What are you talking about?" And he finds out in like 2 seconds and starts wailing on him like you should. The whole thing with Harley, though, being OP, in my opinion, against the Trinity, that rubbed me the wrong way, I gotta admit. So I did not like that Harley scene where she bests Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. I'm sorry, I'm just not a fan of that scene. But on the other side of the coin, the whole last scene with Harley at the end and the confessionals with the Trinity, I thought that was all good stuff. So I'm going to keep hanging on to Heroes in Crisis, but there's just some things in this book that make me so mad and some things I think are really well done. So, Chad, you said you also want to talk about this. What were your thoughts on Heroes in Crisis?
So I read 1 and 2 together, and the book actually stressed me out a little bit. I think it's written phenomenal. I think the story is great. I love the interaction with the Trinity at the beginning when they ask Batman if he has any kryptonite in his bat belt. And he says no. And then later that plays a big part. The book has me on edge, and there hasn't been a book that's kept me on edge like that in a long time. And I actually called Paul and said, man, this book is stressing me out. So I enjoy it. I like where it's going. I think an easy restart to it is because Booster's the bad guy. So he can always go back and flashpoint it.
Yeah, that's the one thing I keep telling myself in this book. It's like, I'm really glad there's a time traveler involved in all this. Bueller, did you happen to read this book?
I did, and I got it right here. And so I got a different take on this book, and it's my pick of the week. I loved it. But here's the thing. I didn't collect for a long time, and I'm back in collecting, and I started collecting again with my Marvel books. So I don't have a lot of history with the DC characters, at least for the last 20 years. So I'm looking at this book right now and saying, okay, I don't know any history of Harley Quinn or any of these people before, and I'm liking that. And I can see where some people who know the backstory of these characters might have a problem with what they're doing with some of them. But for me, who is not aware of what's going on with them and being overpowered or something, I thought it was great. I love the scene where the lasso of truth came into play with Batman. I thought that was great. It actually made me laugh, to be honest with you. And I love this series, and this actually got me interested to get more DC books. I thought the cliffhanger, I don't know if it's a cliffhanger, but at the end when it's got Clark Kent sitting in front of the screen or whatnot saying this thing, I thought that was really riveting and stuff. And then I actually had my son read it because I told him a little bit about it, and he doesn't read comics, and he just got done reading it, and I think he liked it as well. So I like the series. I like the fact that I can jump in it, and I don't need to know all the back stuff, and that really plays well with me because I just don't know the story with him. So, and Legend's laughing at me. I don't know.
I was laughing up in the chat. I love Robert Galvin in the house. Like some of your shows, they're rare and unusual. Love it. He's Galvin's a fan.
Yeah. But yeah, this is my pick of the week. There's 7 more to go. I'm looking forward to every one of them. I'm curious to hear what everyone has said so far and is going to say about it. Because like I said, it's for me, it's nice, fresh, new, and that's the way I'm looking at it. So I really enjoy it.
All right. Any other picks of the week, Bueller, before we move on?
I did read this one, The Stranger Things #2. This is the 4-part limited series. And the first one, I didn't really grab me that much, but since it's only 4 parts, I'm going to give it a shot. So I read this one, and I enjoyed this. This kind of, it takes place during the first season. And this issue is basically when the mom of the kid that gets taken to the Upside Down is setting up the Christmas lights on the wall to kind of communicate with him on the other side. This issue is him on the other side trying to communicate back with his mom, and you don't see any of that in the TV show. So I thought that was kind of interesting, and I enjoyed that. It's kind of slow paced, and considering this is the second issue of a 4-issue series, if you were to compare this to the TV show, this is only like the second or the episode of the TV show. So they got a lot of ground to make up to get the character Will out from the Upside Down or whatever you call it. So, but I liked it. It was better than the first one, and 2 more to go, and I will be checking them out. That's really about it that I've read so far. I do want to read the Spider Force one. I got that one sitting here. I'll do that over the weekend, and there's a couple other ones. But those 2 that I showed earlier, those are my picks of the week.
Awesome. Paul, what's new in the world of Midwest Comic Man?
Well, of course, I haven't read any new books yet. I read all my new books on the weekend, but I do have my 2 back issue picks of the week, which I actually did videos on earlier this week with Cat Ran Loved. And that would be Dark Mansion of Forbidden Love #4, some 70s DC cheese, and Vault of Horror #40 from EC.
Nice. That's awesome, man. And did you talk about, are those the ones you talked about on the Comic Corp channel this week?
Yep.
Awesome.
I started a new thing. It's doing the greatest back issue ever for today, at least.
Awesome, man. I love that series already. I can't wait to see more from that. Last but certainly not least, great Legend. What books have you read this week?
I read some great stuff. You know, I like the Justice League Dark they got going on. But I found out I was missing some of the issues. I was wondering what the heck's going on with this story. But yeah, so I went back and I read Wonder Woman 57, which I think was part 4. And then they had this like one shot that was Wonder Woman, Justice League Dark, Death Angel. I don't know, some witching thing or something. But it was a good storyline. But as far as and so I read both of those and they were good. But the pick of the week for me has got to be Marvel 2-in-1 issue 11. Dang good, man. But now the weird thing is, thank goodness for the little prologue or whatever, the little intro, because you'd be lost. But in this comic, the Fantastic Four is already united or have been united or whatever, but Fantastic Four issue 3 hasn't come out yet. So it's, you know, kind of weird like that. But Reed and Ben, you know, they go out and, you know, do a long talk, and Ben's mad because he thought Reed was dead, and you know, there's some tension there. And they brawl and all the fun stuff, and then they make up, and it's all good. But yeah, just a great issue, and it just keeps wanting me to, you know, get more 4. You know, I love that Fantastic Four stuff.
Nice. I actually just added Fantastic Four to my pool list this week. You'll be happy to know. So I'm looking forward to seeing what story Dan Slott's going to tell there, because I like Dan Slott and I like the FF. So very good.
He's doing real good so far.
Yeah.
But Woodard,
yeah,
not as much as we like Cameraman Mark.
Cameraman Mark.
Yeah.
Pause T-shirt. That's an awesome shirt.
Thank you.
Cameraman, did you have a pick of the week?
Oh, I forgot about that guy.
Yes, actually, I did. I did actually like this. Hex Wives.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
Yeah,
Ex-wives
really-
are the worst.
they are the worst.
Worst.
I'm gonna keep it simple. I really enjoyed the book.
That's awesome.
Oh.
Well, hey, I will let. Okay, so here's the thing, guys. We have a ton of gifts to give away just because I'm feeling generous, and the comic book shop donated them to me. So, if you win a prize, please email us your address, because I have a stack of stuff that I don't know what to do with, and I don't know. I got to go back and get some people who won. So, Mark, I'll let you ask the question. And the first prize is Green Lantern and Huckleberry Hound #1.
that's just
Just put him on the spot.
I love those crossovers.
So now I got to queue up my game show themes.
What is a good question? Yes, I do. I need help from the.
I can't hear.
This is totally his question, by the way.
Okay. What is first appearance of Kate Bishop as Hawkeye?
Yeah.
What was it?
What is first appearance of Kate Bishop as Hawkeye?
Ooh.
he pulled out the.
All right. What is the first appearance of Kate Bishop as Hawkeye?
Yes.
There you go.
I don't,
Legend's looking it up right now.
I don't know the answer.
This is Mark's
I think-
girlfrind, by the way.
I think we need Cat Ren to
All right,
leave
we
the
got
room,
guesses
and
coming in.
Mark's
Jeremy
gotta
Edwards
tell
says
the
New
answer.
Avengers #1. Whitewell Comics says Young Avengers 12.
Hulk
Cool Comics
181.
Collector says Young Avengers #1, which I
Hulk
believe.
181.
And then wait.
Robert Galvin says Average #1.
Gotta go Galvin.
Average #1. I'll take it.
Brett Hess says Young Justice, no number.
Do we know the answer to this? I don't.
Yeah, do you guys have to know the
Okay,
answer over there? I can
I
tell
would
you.
say it's arguable.
Yeah. Because I think Young Avengers #1 is the first appearance of Kate Bishop, right?
Yes.
But she's not Hawkeye in that, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's just ask a question that has no discernible answer.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Huckleberry Hound's not going to get a home.
It's got Jon Stewart in it.
Okay.
I know. I love that. That's a cool.
Is the
show.
dog in jail?
Yeah, they're in jail.
As Hawkeye. Okay, so
There
that
you
would
go,
be
White Will.
Old
There you
man
go.
Hawkeye number
Young
1.
Avengers 12.
White Will Comics with the win. Good job, White Will Comics. Congratulations.
Thank
Please
God.
email us.
All right.
Thank you,
Would
Mark,
you like
for
to
that
type the
wonderful
email in the
question.
chat, Chad?
Yeah, so we've got
Thank
a lot
you.
of people.
All right. So while you're doing that, I do want to revisit the chat because there's been one question that I've seen several times. It's a popular question, so I want to get to it. But first, I do want to say hi to a couple of newcomers here. I just got to find my spot because I was looking at the answer. So, of course, I said White Will Comics got the question right. So glad to have you tonight, White Will Comics. Who else we got joining us tonight? Bake the Snake. We always like seeing Bake the Snake. I believe he's a huge Jake the Snake fan, so I definitely respect that. And Mr. Gretzky 9966. So the question comes from one of our favorites, Robert Galvin, and he says, "What is your rarest book and your favorite book?" This goes to the entire panel, so I guess everybody can do kind of a rapid fire.
That's how Galvin
So,
does it.
I'll go ahead and start because I always have a convenient pile of favorites located up here in my staging area. So my favorite book I've got this year, I have to say Hulk 181 because why not? Never thought I'd own this book.
Wow, look at
Found it
that.
this year. Just happened to be sitting next to me. Boom, there you go. And I guess my favorite book, let me look through my stack. Probably my favorite book I got this year. I'm a mark for it. Why the Last Man #1. Also got this book this year. Very happy to own it. All right, who wants to go next?
Damn, I don't know if I other follow no Hulk 181.
What was that?
I don't
No,
know.
officer.
Everybody's
No,
all
officer,
crazy.
I haven't been drinking tonight.
No. Hulk 181. I only go on the astral planes. I'm up here. I'm up way up
You
here.
don't have to show the book. You can just say what it is.
All right. What was the question again?
Legend.
All
What is your rarest book and your favorite book?
All right, so the rarest book has got to be my Three Stooges #1, 1949, Jubilee Publishing. You look it up in the great book of the OBVS, no, Overstreet, whatever. You look it up in the Overstreet, and it's going to say scarce. So it's got to be Three Stooges #1, 1949. Very first Three Stooges comic. Very classic. Mo Howard's son-in-law actually did the book with Joe Kubert, so really good folks there. And my I guess my most expensive one, most likely, it's probably a tie for the Fantastic Four #1, 5.5 CGC, signed by Stan the Man Lee, or my Wiz Comics #2, CGC restored. 7.0, no, 7.5. Yeah, see, sometimes I don't even know the stuff, but it's 7.5, and that's the first appearance of Billy Batson, aka the OG Captain Marvel. So there you go. Robert Galvin, good question.
Nice. We love those chat questions. Beeler, I see it looks like you're sorting out books over there. What are your thoughts on this question?
So the rarest book I have is probably I don't know. Probably, I guess rare would be oldest book. I mean, I think that's the kind of the question. Rare would be oldest. I think I have an older issue of the it's Superman. It's like I don't even know what issue, but it's like a 10-cent cover price type thing. And so that's probably my rarest book. Like I said, I don't know the issue, but my favorite book is actually just sitting behind me, which is kind of cool. And this is favorite for personal reasons, which is Contest of Champions. And I've talked about this many times, but it's my first ever comic book I ever bought at a comic book shop that my mom took me in. I was like 8 years old, and this is the book. So this is what started everything. So that's my favorite book that I have. The story sucks. I don't know if you ever read this. It's the worst. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. but the cover's cool. That's my favorite. So there you go.
Awesome. Paul, I know you got a lot of cool books. What are your thoughts on this question?
My rarest book, I mean, it could be any number of some of the Golden Age books I have. Like Rob said, you get in those older ones. I've probably got a couple Golden Age books that probably aren't worth a whole heck of a lot of money, but there's probably less than 20 in existence. So, I mean, that's what it is for those. As far as my favorite, that would have to be a tie between two. One would be Cap 100.
Nice.
Because my wonderful wife got it for me for Father's Day this year because she knows I'm a big Captain America fan. And then, like Bueller, my other one would be Warlord Annual 2 because that was the first book I ever bought off the stands when I was about 6 years old, and I still have it today.
Very good. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I actually got a copy of Cap 100 this year myself, and it was really beat up and all that stuff, but I'm just glad to have it, which I'll get into our question here in a few minutes. But I want to get Katrin's thoughts on this. So do you guys have a favorite book or a very rare book you'd like to share with us?
So I don't really like to pick favorites. I love my collection. Collect what you love and love what you collect. And I've got long boxes full that I would definitely consider like, oh, these are my favorite books. But I would say my newest baby in my collection is my new Teen Titans #2, first Deathstroke. And that also completed my Perez run. So I was very happy about that.
Nice.
And I don't know if this is technically my rarest book, but it's very hard to find. And that's my San Diego Comic-Con exclusive variant for Snot Girl issue 1. I've got a 9/8 that's signed by both the creators.
That's awesome.
So that's one of my babies.
Excellent. Chad, what's your favorite book? Is it this one?
Mine would be The Adventures of Superman 500.
It's close.
And I would go also with Batman 442.
Nice. All right, let's see what the chat had to say, because there were actually some answers in the chat. Was that a bad segue, guys? I'm sorry.
And we have another giveaway. No,
we'll get into that. No, I want to give a giveaway here as soon as I got done reading these answers here. Jeremy Edwards says, oldest in his collection is Batman 181, I believe, if I remember right. That's the first appearance of Poison Ivy, as well as his Batman 608 second print. I remember hearing the whole story of him getting that, so I know that is definitely one of his favorites. So that is a great answer, Jeremy Edwards. Thank you for that. Sam Stangled Webb says, nice. Hulk 181. Thank you. Brett Hess also says, Why the Last Man is so good. I agree 100%. Mr. Gretzky 9966 says, the rarest I have is Action Comics 69. Wow, that's awesome. I would love to have an Action Comics that's like before an issue 100. That's just unthinkable for me. So, all right, Chad, are you ready to give away another book?
Yeah, so I'm trying to think. Should we do it like a lot?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do a group. Here we go. We've got Spider Gideon, #2.
Gideon.
Or is it Spider Geddon?
It's Spider Gideon.
Spider Gideon.
Gideon?
Who's Gideon?
Who the hell is Gideon?
What is this, like? Wasn't he a character on Charmed or something?
Or like Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Oh, yeah. I love Buffy.
I know Gideon be putting them Bibles in the hotel rooms.
We got the superior octopus.
Yeah.
Nice.
Pretty cool.
Amazing Spider-Man.
Ooh, that one there. Look at that cover. I love that.
Is that a Virgin variant?
We also got Spider Girls.
That was Woodard.
Battle Lines variant.
That was Virgin. Freaking Virgin.
Sure was.
Spider Gwen Ghost Spider, and then
those versions are rare.
Force.
And that's Bobby Heenan. Real quick, man. I was picturing this. Woodard sitting there in the middle. Woodard just like Shivani. I'm Mike Tanay. And boy, Bueller just dropping the Heenan on you.
Professor.
Guess what? It's commentary.
Random wrestling reference of the night brought to you by Chad's Giveaway. All right, Chad, what's the question?
Halloween Havoc.
Who are you pointing at, Chad?
What?
Who are
Change
you
the
pointing at for the
Chad.
question, Chad?
I'm trying to think of the question.
I can come up with a question if you want.
I
I can crack out the I can crack out the old wizard from '94.
Yes!
Plenty of trivia. In it.
I have a question ready to go.
Go ahead, Paul. I'll come
There
up
it
with the
is.
next one.
What superhero grew up on the planet Tamaran?
Tambourine Man? I don't know.
I'm not going to
Somebody
say
on
it.
this panel probably
I was
knows
just going
that.
to say the hint is Catran cannot answer.
Okay, it could be characters.
Yeah.
Is it a Marvel Comics person?
That's telling too much.
Is it the guy that bangs his bands together?
Nope.
That
Not
was
that
one.
guy.
Jeremy
one-
Edwards gets a start
Jeremy
fire.
Edwards.
Jeremy wins again. Congratulations, Jeremy.
It could also
Awesome
be
job, man.
Blackfire.
Yeah, I
Saying.
was gonna say if I was a jerk in the chat, I would have said Blackfire.
And Robert
Cat
Gavin,
Williams.
if you want to send me your address, I will send you this. We got 2 of them.
Hey,
All right. Robert Galvin.
Congratulations, Robert Galvin.
Robert Gowan.
Chad passing on the comic karma to the community. That's
You
awesome.
get a free comic. You get a free comic.
A sub and a comic. Nice. All right. So thank you, Chad, for being so generous with the comic books once again this week. I did want to get into one of our topics this week. So thanks to a great legend. He came up with an excellent topic. And I'll probably start with you, Legend, after I read the question. So basically, everyone collects differently, as we all know. We all have our techniques and styles and wants and not wants. How do you guys feel about the condition of your comic books? Are you the type of collector that has to have those 9.8 slabs and all that good stuff? You go to the store, you kind of pull out the one on the back, you look for the one with no spine ticks on it. Or are you the collector that you just want to own the book? You want to kind of collect the older ones, no matter if they're, potato copies or, near mint. You just want to read them. Legend, I'll start with you. What type of collector are you?
For me, I'm like the jack of all trades. I first started out where I wanted all near mint. So I was going through on the rack, making sure there wasn't a lot of ticks on there, because the racks, they would literally, put them on the spinner racks and people be flipping through them, and that's creating spine ticks. So back in the day, I was really into that. But then when the Lone Star Comics closed the brick and mortar, and then I just knew that the shipment was always going to be 9.4, 9.4 or higher. So I was like, you know what, I'm cool with that. Because I think as the older I got in my collecting years, I didn't really, care about, it was always the read first. If the books that I liked, if the titles that I liked were going to be worth money, then that's great. But, I always went with my favorite characters, what I read first. But yeah, I go with like GPAP says, low no grade. Wait, low grade.
Low grade's better than no grade.
That's it. Low grade is better than no grade. So I have tons of low, like 2.0 and lower of books, just so I don't care, as long as I have the run, and I can always upgrade or update the collection later down the line. So a lot of ways to collect. What about you, Bueller? What's some of the ways you do that stuff?
Well, I got a question for you real quick. So, Legend, do you have a cutoff point? Is there something you won't like? Okay, it's missing the cover. Do you like?
I usually like the books complete. So, like no, nothing missing. I don't have, none of those Marvel stamps. I got to have my stamps attached. But no, I just but it could be creased or bent or, tears, whatever. But as long as it's all complete, I'm good with it.
Yeah.
And I also like, I forgot to mention, I don't mind getting restored books, restored slab books. And I think it's a treasure if you get, the professionally restored, like, on the label and everything, and it's professional just when it looks like that Wiz Comics #2 in the other room. I mean, that's just awesome stuff for people to do that. And I want all y'all to know we got a guy here on the panel that does some of that restoration, and he's getting better at it. So Paul, I'll be maybe when I send, maybe I'll send you some books. You know, Paul.
So,
I won't hold my breath.
So you're asking, he's kind of passed it on to me there, and was asking me what I look for, and I thought a lot about this, and I like my comics like I like my ladies. 2 5s make a 10, and that's the way I buy my comics. But really, though, I don't have any graded books. I have 0 slabs, not a one. It's never appealed to me. I bought a couple one time, and just to see what they were like, to see how they were. And they're cool. And then my buddy Jeff broke them. He's cracked them in half on one of my videos. And I haven't bought another one since. And comic grades to me, it doesn't mean anything to me anymore as far as like the condition of the book. As long as the cover is there and not like gone, even if it's detached, I'll just lay it on there. It looks the same when it's sitting in a bag, to be honest with you. And but that's where the point I'm at. I don't look for near mint books. I'm not like trying to pick if it's available, if it's bent. Like a new book, I'll still buy it. I don't care. So I think when you get to a point in your life, eventually, if you're not flipping them, which I'm not doing, I'm not selling books. I'm just adding them to my collections, and I enjoy them. Then condition is an afterthought. One rings a bell. Secret Wars #8 with Spider-Man on the cover, in the symbiote suit or whatnot. I got a copy of that book, and there's a chunk missing out of the cover. There's literally like some rat or something took a bite out of the corner of the book. And but you know what? I wouldn't buy another copy. That's good enough for me. It's in my collection. I now have that book back in my collection, and even if I found one for cheap or whatnot, I wouldn't look at upgrading that copy because I already marked it off my list as something I have. And I like that. I like being able to buy these well-loved books and not have to think anything about it. And another thing, they're cheaper, and that goes a long way when you're trying to budget your comics and stuff. And if you can get a book that sells for $100 at a near mint, and it's the same book, and it's only like $10 because of the condition, I'm going to buy the $10 one every single time. So that's how I collect. That's how I like. I like them any way I can get them. As long as the cover's there, I'm good to go. Somebody else is next.
All right. Before I get into the next verse, I do want to read some responses from the chat because the chat is also participating in this question. Michael Porson says, the more fingerprints, the better. A well-traveled book has character, so I'm guessing he's one of those people who like the date stamp type stuff, which is definitely nothing wrong with that. Bake the Snake says, I don't need it to be perfect, but if I can get a nice copy, I prefer it. Pope Cerebus the First says, I just think sorry, my chat just jumped and glitched out. All right, sorry about that. I just think the better snipe, finding a high grade, that's rare. So basically, if you can get the high grade for the same price, why wouldn't you, more or less? Gretzky9966, for Archie books, it better be raw 3.0 or higher unless it's graded, then it's 1.5 and up. Brett Hess Art says, definitely a read for him first before any condition questions later. TJ Watson says, I'm very picky. Modern 9.6 and up. Bronze better be in the 9s. Silver's 8s and up. Golden, anything goes as long as it presents well, which I'm trying to adjust earlier. Silver's like Golden Age. So, wow, that's crazy, man. I wish I could do that. That sounds awesome. Jeremy Edwards says, I never plan on selling most of my books, but if I have a book that is worth a good amount and I get it fined, you bet I'm going to sell it. So, yeah, I think most of us would be the same way, Jeremy. And then it also looks like we've got Adam Goldstein joining us, new user I have not seen. So welcome, Adam. Great to have you. And Who Dat Comics and Movies. Once again, we always like having Who Dat Comics and Movies around here. Next up, I want to hear from Paul because obviously he does the pressing services and that type of stuff. So I know he's going to have some great insight on this.
Well, personally, I love to buy raw and then slab after I press it. But I'm pretty similar to TJ. Mine tends to be by age. If I'm looking at a modern book, there's no point in going for anything that after pressing is going to be at least a 9.6 for me. I mean, there's just so many of them out there. And, it's not like back in the 70s. Right now, people buy their books and they immediately throw it in a bag and board. So there's plenty of good copies out there. Bronze Age, 70, 75. Silver Age, I'll go down to a 5. Golden Age, pretty much anything goes because they're just not there. Like Rob, particularly with Golden Age and somewhat with Silver Age, I'm not against a restored book. The books just aren't there, and they're going to start falling apart. So if we don't restore Golden Age books, they're just going to go away. Mm-hmm. And for me, I think the most important thing for me, I like looking at my books. I will take a 2.5 or 3.0 with awesome cover appeal over a 5.0 that the cover is jacked up. I love having a good looking cover, and you know, if it's a lower grade, I'm going to get it for a better price, and I have a great looking cover to look at. I mean, for me, that's my thing. Like, I know Bueller was asking about, would you buy a book without a cover? If I was looking to fill a spot in my collection, yeah. But if I was looking for one to have as a showpiece, no. Unless it's Detective 27 or Action 1.
Yeah.
You
get graded by the page then.
That's what you get. That DC.
So, Paul, there's kind of a question in the chat I think would be perfect for you. So, Adam Goldstein wants to kind of know slabbed or no. So, by that, I'm thinking, like, if you get one of those good, like, Silver or Bronze Age books, for instance, because you already kind of answered your Golden Age question there, but a good, if you got, like, a high 9 Silver or Bronze, would you basically automatically get that book graded?
Absolutely. I mean, for me, it's as much about protecting the book and being able to show it off. You know, I mean, at this day and age, you can get almost, you know, people are like, well, you can't read it then. Well, I can get anything I want digitally.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, most books, when I buy them raw, I read them, I press them, and then I'll get them slapped.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same way, man. What about you, Legend? I don't think I asked you about your grading options. Do you pretty much get things graded like that, or you just kind of keep them in the collection?
If it's a key or something, yeah, I usually like those graded if I can get them. But I have a lot of keys that aren't graded, you know, so I don't know. It's kind of weird. I mean, if it's something I know is going to be worth a lot of money, I'm usually talking like some 4-figure stuff. I'll go ahead and get it graded, you know, just it's the best way to do it. You know, you got to, I think, just investing wise, that's a smart move to, like, if you have a book like that's worth that much, get that thing graded and get it insured, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I think if you have a high dollar book like that, you kind of got to get it graded. Just one, because it helps protect the book. Mm-hmm. And two, when you're going to sell the book, if you ever decide to sell it, it takes a lot of the questions out of it. Because I've seen people grade books raw that, you know, they'll say it's a 5.0 and I've had it come back a 7, or they'll say it's a 7 and it's really a 5. Mm. You know, when you're talking that much money, you want to have some level of assurance.
So can I ask a question to Rob? You said you get it insured. Like I found out, unfortunately, that homeowners insurance does not cover your comics.
Yeah, you'll have to get like a separate policy, and you'll have to talk it over with whoever your insurance is. I don't have it right now. I need to get it, and I've been talking to her about it and everything. But yeah, I think it's important to have, you know, or put your most expensive books in one of those bank safety boxes, you know. Yeah. Just make sure old Arthur Morgan don't break in and get it. No.
Good old Red Dead.
In the chat, we've got Robert Galvin said that he just got wheeled some books that he has to go through. We also have Popcom just joined us. Who dat? Our prayers are with you. And I saw one more I wanted to get. It was a good question.
Well, Cool Comics Collector asked, does anyone ever plan on selling their collection or taking it with them to the grave?
My whole mentality is, if I sell something, it's to fund something else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I said, on my collection, it'd be cool to, like, if I have heirs or whatever, just to hand them like everything. Like, here you go. divvy it up however you want. If not, just sell it for $1 a piece, and that's probably what's realistically going to happen. But I want to hear from Team Catrin. What do you guys think about this whole collecting thing we've been talking about? First off, I actually kind of want to know, do you guys each have your own collection, or is it kind of just like one big collection together?
Well, I collect cameras.
Oh, okay.
She collects.
The most important question is
That's cool, man. Yeah.
Nikon or Canon?
Oh yeah, Nikon. Yeah.
What?
So that answers that question. Anyway,
Wow.
what do you think about condition of your comics?
All right. As far as when I go and I get my pull box, I like to look at the books. I mean, if it's a brand new book, I'm trying to get in the 9s because it's brand new. They're everywhere. Especially if it's a black cover or if it's a white cover. Black covers, the spine ticks just show up and they look really bad. White covers, you can get scratches on them really easily. But as far as older books go, I'm much like the rest of you. I'm about the cover. If the cover looks great, I'm more likely to grab that book. And if you can get a lower grade of a slab for a character that you want, so you get a 3.0 of something, and you can get it for $30 versus a couple hundred, yeah.
It's all about how it presents.
I like seeing them on my wall, and it's all about the pretty pictures. Let's be honest.
Hey, here's one of the pictures right now. BKR. This was on his Instagram, and I saw this thing. I was like, "That is some good. That's some good picture taking."
Wow, he's even Instagram stalking now.
Everybody follow BKR90 on Instagram for
That's
more
right.
fun pictures like that. I don't even know what I was going to. Oh yeah, I can talk about mine now. Unless did anyone have any follow-up questions for that? Okay.
I have a
please.
follow-up. Cameraman, do you care about the condition of cameras that you pick out? Does that go a long way?
Sometimes. Most of the time, actually, a lot of my cameras actually don't work, but they are collectible.
Do you bag and board them?
They are behind a glass case. So technically-
That's good. That's good.
They took over my living room. It's okay.
just a corner.
Yeah, he probably develops the pictures and puts them in a little Mylar bag. My guess.
Seawood, don't get creepy. That's kind of creepy.
He's pretty proud of his Kodak Brownie collection. You've got almost all of them,
Almost.
so he's pretty proud of that.
Yeah.
Do you like Polaroid?
Yes, I do.
All right, so we're gonna keep moving along here.
Jeremy Edwards wants us to do the Spider Gideon prize again because he said he didn't want it. He just wanted to answer the question.
All right. So does that mean you're going to add on to that prize, and we're going to ask a question out of Wizard from 1994?
I think you can.
All right. So what are we giving away this time, Chad? For those of you just joining us.
So
Michael Turner.
We'll put this one back, and we will go with Action Comics. This great
shiny
premium cover. They were mine.
Shiny.
Oh, that is cool.
It's very shiny.
I like that one.
I love the metallic right now.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, do you like anything shiny?
I'm not gonna lie. Yes, it's very
like it.
distracting. I love it.
I like shiny things too.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Sing it.
No, he didn't.
Sing it.
I don't get that reference.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and ask the first question here. So,
What?
which post-crisis Batman supporting cast member apparently killed a criminal by throwing him off of a building?
Oh, this is a good one that I don't know.
DC.
My drum roll.
Yeah, if no one gets it in like 30 seconds, I can give the A, B, C, and D.
Sam said
options.
shiny. Is it shiny? Is that a villain in DC? Shiny?
Jeremy Edwards just answered.
Stop,
Stop it! Stop it!
Jeremy!
You don't want it.
I guess
You
I'll
don't
ask
even
another
want to
question.
try it.
You want this one, Jeremy?
Was Jason
Someone at the
Yeah.
end of this, by the end of the show, Jeremy's going to fall asleep and someone's going to answer, and they're going to get a freaking pile of books that's going to take a long box to send.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll try and make it a Marvel question this time.
What happened?
He was
Okay,
distracted
Jeremy
about
confirms he
shiny.
wants that pack. So Jeremy wants that
He
book.
wants the Superman book.
So congratulations, Jeremy Edwards.
You got
There
a
you go.
shiny book.
Congratulations. Now he's got to spend $4 and just send one book to you.
Man, that's freaking awesome, man.
Chad,
Wait a
while
minute,
we're on you.
where's Jason? We gotta get the
Jason
media mail
Smith.
deal.
Polaroid.
On a Polaroid classic camera.
Chad,
That's that 70s camera.
Yep. We might get hit with copyright.
whoops. Chad, while we're on you, I already know your answer, but I always like you telling your answer to our audience out there. What do you think about Condition?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I just like to read the books.
And what color was your tote again that you throw everything in?
It's blue.
A blue
Blue.
tote, yes. Chad stores his stuff in a blue tote and no bag and board.
Two.
Yes.
Is the tote going to make an appearance on the show someday? I really hope it does.
We can, and we can go through it and just give everything away.
I don't want to do that. That's a lot of work. Come on. Tote. I
So
just
I
want to
guess-
see the tote.
To conclude this topic, which has been a blast about cameras and that stuff, my thoughts on it are like, I agree with most people on their 90s and up stuff. If I was going to collect, if I'm paying cover price, I usually at least want a 9.4 to 9.6 copy minimum. If I'm paying $4 to $5 for some of these newer books, I'll be flat out honest. But usually, like Bronze Age and earlier, I kind of don't care. As long I just want to own the book. Like, for instance, I pulled out the 181 earlier. I was just thrilled to see this at an affordable price, even though there's like a huge bend right there and that stuff. And it's
Show
got a couple
it
fine fit-
again, Carson. So there might be somebody that missed it.
There we go.
I know a guy that might be able to fix that.
Well, it's a color breaking, unfortunately. But this is the book I'm thinking about sending to you, Paul, obviously. So I just got to get a little bit of stuff.
Yeah, I
together,
mean,
so.
I can make it prettier. I mean,
Yeah.
things like a subcrease and color breaks aren't going to go away, but
Yeah.
it'll look prettier. Does it have the value stamp?
Yes, it does. First thing I checked, I made them open it up. And that was I said this in the past on the show, but if you guys are going to, if you are one of those high grade collectors and you're going to invest the big money in high grades, at least if you're buying something like this, have the buyer or the seller, open it up in front of you, look through the book, make sure the back cover's not missing like one of the books I bought this year was. Make sure in books like this that has that Marvel value stamp. So kind of like if you're going to dive that deep into, going into quality, check the book before you buy it at the very least. So there's my 2 cents on that.
I pressed a book not too long ago. It was a Doctor Strange #1, and I got it. And the first thing I did was open it up, and I called the guy up. I said, "Are you aware that the Marvel value stamp is missing?" And he said, "Don't tell me that."
Oh, that's very unfortunate.
You have
Someday we put together a list.
People
Of them.
would cut those out of the book, apparently.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah, because you could send them in for something. You would get like a sheet that said, "Hey, you collected all of them."
Well, that's
I think it was just the Marvel collector book where you could put the stamps in there. I saw that on Silver Age Dave's channel. He has like 3 or 4 of them.
I mean, you got to think about this. Back in the '60s, early '70s, nobody was thinking about collecting this shit.
Oh yeah,
it's twice.
they just fold it up and put it in their pocket.
Shut up,
Chad,
Chad.
did you have a question?
Chad's. Everybody, take a look at Chad's new monitor. He's busy playing Fortnite all this time. And Chad, when you're done, feel free to jump back in the conversation anytime.
No, he was seriously asking a question earlier.
So do you have 9.4s of Pit and Max?
No, I don't really want Pitt and Max though. It's my thing. I don't know. I could ask a question.
Books. Those are awesome.
Good. I don't collect them. I have Wildcats up there. It's probably like a 9.6 or 9.8 signed by Jim Lee, but I don't have it graded. I don't really care to get it graded. So I guess to answer the question from earlier, do you get all your stuff slabbed at that half? No, not really. I don't really care. There's a few things I want to get slabbed, like that Hulk and probably the Why the Last Man, just because I really like those books. But when it comes to all that stuff, no, I'm not going to get those slabbed. Probably never. So
we have Samantha Branch in the chat.
Yeah. She's got a Kickstarter going on too, so everybody check that out.
Yeah, everybody check out her Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Hi, Samantha Branch. She didn't hear me.
Oh, and in C2E2 news, Mark Silvestri is confirmed.
Yep. And tickets just went on sale today too.
Yep. And of course, I assume most people have heard that Perez is going to be there now.
Yep.
George Perez.
I will beat him every time.
You and George Perez, Woodard. And Cat Wren, too. Cat Wren loves that George Perez.
Starfire's daddy.
Marv Wolfman. Will Marv Wolfman be there?
Oh, that'd be great.
It'd be awesome.
And on the entertainment side, what's his name from Doctor Who and Malcolm Merlin?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the Malcolm Merlin
John
guy.
Barrowman.
Summer Glau is also confirmed.
Yeah, but she cancels every time she signs up for the show.
She stole my Xbox avatar from when she was on Terminator.
I mean, I've already seen people saying don't count on her being until it's like 2 minutes before the show.
That's Summer Glau. She's so pretty.
She is.
Yeah.
Very
She's
pretty.
also on Arrow. TJ's requesting to see this book, I think. So there we go. Pope Service, if you're still in the chat, there you go too, bud. Everybody likes seeing this book for some reason. So there we go. But next up, I do want to get into the next topic.
Oh, before we switch topics.
Oh, yes, please.
Mark wants to show off his favorite camera.
Please, that'd be awesome.
I was waiting for this the whole night.
Nice.
Wait. Let me look at that thing.
Camera core, baby. Camera
That's
core.
hot.
It's a Polaroid.
Yep.
There it is. That's it. I told
That's
you.
old
Bueller.
school.
I like
That's
it.
how they did it.
They used to hide drugs in those.
Polaroids, baby.
I'm just gonna put this down.
That's awesome.
Oh, that thing's really cool. I love old cameras. They're awesome. My dad was really into photography and stuff, and he had quite a big collection of cameras. I don't want to talk about what he took pictures of. That's a whole nother video. But I love those older cameras. I think they're awesome.
Dark.
I don't think it went dark yet.
Do you have any medium format like Hasselblad or anything?
Who was that to?
Dude, that's the Mark.
Oh.
Sorry, what was it?
Yeah. You have any Hasselblads or anything like that? Any medium format?
Hasselblads.
The camera, honey. Sorry, he pre-gamed?
Okay.
TJ Watson acts legal in Oregon.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
What?
guys.
TJ would like to know, is pot legal in Oregon?
Jesus.
Good God.
Not only is it legal in Oregon, and 21 and over, but you can grow 3 plants. Every person can have their own 3 plants, and they can grow it in the front yard if they want to.
Dang.
So yeah,
Wow.
it's legal in Oregon.
There you go.
I think 3 plants, that's kind of limiting. I think it should depend on how much land you have. I mean, if you have a couple acres, you should be able to grow more.
So everybody is saying,
Go first.
we got Thanatos saying it. We got Cool Comics Collector. Bueller is on fire tonight.
He is, man. I love it.
And Brett Hask is asking, what is pot?
Pot is a drug.
It's something you cook out of.
Yeah.
And there you go.
Samantha Branch says we get 4 plants in Canada.
Ooh, nice. Way to go, Canada.
Bacon
Canada for
Snake
life.
says, I like your style. And TJ Watson says he's going to be in Michigan next week. That's nowhere near Oregon.
Yeah, Oregon is way on the west coast. Yeah, it's marijuana has been kind of it's been legal here for a long time. It was It was nobody really cares here. You know,
It was legal before it was technically legal.
exactly.
So
never a big deal.
can we want to give another giveaway?
Sure, let me find a question. What are we giving away this time, Chad?
How about the Batman Who Laughs statue?
Damn.
All right, so anyway, let's get to the question before Chad can change his mind. Hey.
Wheeler nailed it, man.
I've been working on it.
That was awesome.
Jeremy, you've already won, and you picked that one for the one you won. So you need
I had a Marvel question lined up for this one too, but I'm going to go with it because I think I've been all DC so far.
Make the snake says, "Damn, bro."
Cloak and Dagger made their debut in the pages of which comic book?
I know this. I know it.
Say it.
Yeah, I know this one.
Once again, Cloak and Dagger made their debut in the pages of which comic book?
I gotta hold on. Can I sign into my other account? And I'm gonna put an answer here real quick. It's I don't want to tell you the name.
Right, so far we've got PSM. New Teen Titan says Bake the Snake.
I think Stawinski maybe
Power
got
Pack says Genome Presents. Jeremy says Spider-Man. Brandon Stawinski specified though and said the Spectacular Spider-Man, which is the correct answer. So congratulations, Brandon Stawinski Comics.
Gotta love Brandon Stawinski, one of the best.
He even gave us the issue.
You know, I don't know. I think this might be up for debate. Pope put Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man because that's actually the title of that book. It was Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man, and then they changed it to Spectacular Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was technically still Peter Parker. I just didn't know what PPSM meant right offhand.
I think
be watching Bueller's videos. He'll let you know he's got that video, don't you?
I think Brandon Stawinski just unsubscribed my channel for that one. I'm sorry, Brandon.
He's like, I'm out of here.
So we got to make a debate. Who's going to make the call? Legend, it's up to you.
I got to go Stawinski. I mean, Stawinski,
Bueller?
Although before Stawinski said Spectacular Spider-Man is when Pope Cerebus did his PPSM, which is Peter Parker Spectacular.
Going back into the chat, it does look like Pope Cerebus.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he went acronym on it, then I think that's how it has to be. Stawinski.
So why don't we do? Hey, you got another question in that book?
Hey, there's like a whole book of questions here.
Just chop the sumbitch in half and send them each a half.
Ask a question.
Don't you got more stuff to give away? Can't we give away something to both of you gentlemen?
No. Brian gets the top half. Pope gets the bottom half.
I'm okay with that.
All right.
So I've never heard of this team, so I'm just going for it. Bueller and Legend will love this. And it's comic. What do you got, Chad?
This is between Pope and Brandon.
Only those two.
Yeah.
Okay. But what if neither of them know? I'll try to find a Spider-Man one here.
Here we go.
Let's see. I don't like that one. Screw it. Let's do the original one. The Nasty Boys. The Nasty Boys were the henchmen of
Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart.
Yeah.
What?
It's Marvel. They're henchmen in the Marvel universe for who? Which villain?
Pope Cerebus has indicated he is a bottom.
Hey, this was in one of my videos recently, one of my Keys videos, if I'm not mistaken.
And if neither of them get it in 30 seconds, I'll just start throwing out the options here. So we got like an A, B, C, or D if we have to get there. So they can throw out a guess. If not, we can put out the A, the B, the C, and the D.
We got some wrestling fans in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we do.
Stawinski says X Factor. No, we're looking for a villain, but one villain. Name one villain.
Jeremy Edwards says Kingpin. Wilson Fisk.
Yep. All right, so let's go and throw out the options to speed things along here. So option A, Armin Zola. Option B, Mr. Sinister. Option C, Gideon. And option D, this book was printed in the 90s, Missy Hyatt.
Is that Spider Gideon?
Yeah, Gideon.
Yeah, like Gideon. So
who is this?
A, B, C, or D? Once again, A, Armin Zola. B, Mr. Sinister. C, Gideon. Or D, Missy Hyatt. All right, so who's it between Pope C and
Missy
Stawinski? I think Pope Cerebus has it. Mr. Sinister is the correct answer.
Pope Cerebus. You got to go Cerebus.
You got it. Congratulations, Pope C.
You know, when you said Mr. Sinister, I nodded my head, so that might have gave it away. I was like, yeah.
But they legit did put Missy Hyatt in this book, and it made me laugh, so sorry.
That is funny.
Cool Comic Collector says glow.
Nice.
Samantha Branch says whoop whoop.
Yeah. Zach Ryder.
George the Animal Steel. All right, so let's get into our next topic. I got kind of a hot take maybe for some people out there. I wanted to talk about how this may be the best year in comic-related content. My two examples, I was kind of talking with these guys before the show. This year, in my opinion, we got the best comic book movie of all time. This kind of, in my opinion, might be a hot take for some people. Avengers Infinity War, in my opinion, is the best comic book movie ever made. This year, we also got Daredevil Season 3, which I think is probably the second best thing to come out of the MCU. So everything else that's happened, like you got Titans, you got the DC streaming service, you've got solid books coming from Marvel, DC, and Image. What do you guys think? And I want to start with Chad because he's been last every time, so I'll make him first this time. Chad, what do you think about the 2018 year in comics and comic-related content?
I think it's a ramp-up year. I think it's going to get better and better from here on out. I mean, DC is owning the women in film and in animation and everything. I saw the images from the new Batwoman, and she looks amazing, screen ready, rocking and rolling. I'm excited about Birds of Prey and where the direction they're going. I'm excited that James Gunn has turned into DC for life, and I'm excited to see what direction they're going to go in the Marvel cinematic universe as soon as Avengers hits. It's going to be interesting to see a lot of things coming together, and I'm really pumped. My movie of the year may be Deadpool, the special edition movie coming out with the Princess Bride theme, and I'm pumped. I think it's only going to keep on getting better and better and better.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious too to see if this latest Avengers movie was like the crescendo of the whole franchise, or if they're going to be able to capitalize that and build something even bigger. Kat, what do you think about all this?
Well, it's a good time to be a comic fan, that's for sure. Something that no one else mentioned, DC, what was it, Justice League Action came out, and that's really awesome, just little shorts. That's been something really good to try to get the younger generation into, like my niece and nephew. They really love that. And I gotta tell you, I at first thought that I was going to really hate the Titans and how it's going, but I've actually been pretty surprised. I see where they're going with it, and there's definitely some changes I would make with the costuming and some of the makeup choices, but I'm actually really impressed. And especially Sabrina, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina just came out on Netflix a few weeks back, and that was amazing. So I think it's a great time, honestly. I mean, we've got films, we've got our TV shows, and comics. Everything's just really awesome right now.
Nice. Yeah, we still got Aquaman to go, too. I think we mentioned that earlier. We almost forgot about Aquaman, and Samantha Branch just mentioned she watched Black Panther a couple days ago, and that was the beginning of this year. So it's crazy time right now.
Spawn's getting a new movie.
Like I mentioned in our off air that let's not forget, even though this has been an endless year of hell, that Black Panther was at the beginning of this year. So we've had that too. Flash and Arrow had their best season premieres in probably 3 years.
Yep,
they were
agreed.
amazing.
With the Nightmare.
Like Kat, I went into Teen Titan or Titans with a very low expectation, and it is not without its problems, but it's had some ridiculous action scenes. Daredevil season 3 was absolutely incredible. Yeah, everybody's firing on all cylinders. I mean,
Black Lightning.
Yep.
yep.
I had a conversation with Jeremy today, and he wasn't a real big fan of the new Titans episode, but he's not familiar with the Doom Patrol, and I was super impressed with that episode.
I haven't watched that episode yet. I'm gonna be getting to that one
No
tonight.
spoilers.
I'm not getting. I'm not saying.
Oh,
They all
Chad,
got-
by the way, it looks like they're doing some prize trading in the chat between Pope C and Brandon.
What I saw it says Adam Goldstein says, "Is this a bubble?"
Oh, I think Adam Goldstein, I wanted to get to his question. I think he is asking, is this whole comic book success in the mainstream right now, is that a bubble? I think it's a very, very big bubble. It's going to last a while longer, but eventually, like everything else, I think it'll pop. Maybe 10 years down the line. But right now, it's a very huge bubble, and it's not popping anytime soon.
Well, like
Legend. Go ahead, Paul. Sorry.
Like I've said a number of times, I think as far as movie wise, I think the bubble will burst. I think comics are going to find their home on TV because comics by their very nature are episodic. And I think it's better for telling the long form stories.
Yep.
And
Legend.
with budgets these days going like Game of Thrones and stuff on the pay channels, you can do them well.
That's true. All right,
Now,
you want to talk
Legend.
about Black Lightning, Legend?
Yeah, just a freaking awesome first season of Black Lightning. What's good about those CW shows when you only have like 12 of them, it seems to do better. And I like some of the Arrows, they just have felt pretty freaking long, you know. So it's good to see Arrows. That first episode of Arrow and first episode of Flash was really good. Legends of Tomorrow was really cool because it has old Biff Tannen in there. He's in the show.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He was in the premiere, wasn't he?
Yeah, so that was kind of cool. So, yeah, and I don't go to the movies as much. I haven't seen Venom. There's tons of stuff. I guess the last thing I saw was the Infinity movie, and then I saw the Ready Player One was freaking phenomenal. That's probably even I may have even liked that better than Infinity stuff. Sorry. But yeah, man, I think it's going to keep going, you know, and movies, TV, anything that's on the screen where people can look at, that's their main focus. As far as like the comic books and stuff, you know, they'll be around. I don't know, maybe in 10 years, they may all be digital though. Who knows?
Yeah. So as someone who doesn't watch the movies as much, like what was your take on Infinity War? Because I thought it was great just because like I always wanted a Crisis on Infinite Earths movie when I was a kid. That was like my big dream, to go to the theater and see like all these comic characters crossing over. But what was your take on it? Because you basically have to see like 20 other movies in advance to get the full 100% story on that. So what was your perspective on that?
Well, I do try to buy all of those movies. I know I don't have the Ant-Man and Wasp one yet, but I'll get it eventually. But yeah, I love all that stuff. I think they've done a great job with all those Marvel movies since that first Iron Man movie. Hell, I like them Blade movies. I don't know if those were
now 1 and 2 were legit.
Yeah, those are freaking awesome and stuff. But yeah, a lot of the movies have been doing good. DC, they're going to get some good movies. You know, this Aquaman and the Shazam, of course, looks awesome. So, yeah, I'm pumped. I can't wait for the future stuff to come out.
Yeah, we just need to get that first family involved.
All
right, Bueller. What you thinking, Bueller?
So I got a different take on this, and it's going to come from a different direction. I like this topic. You brought it up before we started and stuff. Is this the best year for comics in general? Okay. And I think you're right on the money. I think it is. And I'm going to look at it, like I said, a little differently. All of us here have been collecting comics. We all know the stories. We know all the backstories and everything like that. What this year has done is open up the eyes to so many other people out there with all the different TV shows, with all the different movies. And they're quality. That's the thing. They're quality movies. They're quality TV shows. They're quality books that are being made. Quality everything right now. And I kind of look, and I do see it as probably the best year, but I also see it as the fact this is an opportunity for us to step up to the plate and make sure the stuff that we're putting out as well, all these characters that we love, we should be doing the same thing. If the quality stuff is coming out in Hollywood or whatnot, we should be doing quality stuff as well, because there's going to be a lot of other people wanting to find out more information. They're going to be wanting to watch the Comic Corp. They're going to be wanting to watch Kat Rand do her review on Crisis and stuff. They're going to watch Legend show all his wonderful Fantastic Four books. We're going to watch Midwest do his pressing, and Seawood host the Comic Corp and his own show on Tuesdays. Don't forget to watch that on Tuesdays. It's the best show on Tuesdays. But, you know, I think it is the best
year. Internet.
Yeah. But I think it is the best year. And I think with so much stuff available out there now and so much information that people are looking for, I think it's up to us to make sure that next year is even better. So that's my take.
Awesome, man. I preach. That was awesome. So that being said, like, where do you guys think it goes from here? I keep going back to that bubble thing that Adam Goldstein mentioned. Like, well, is next year going to be the best year? Then followed by that, like, how far are we going to go with this? And my other thing is, like, maybe I'm thinking crazy. Are these characters eventually just going to transition to TVs and movies, and the comics kind of get phased out? Or do you guys think the comics will be it was the first thing, it'll be the very last thing once this Hollywood bubble bursts?
I think movies are struggling right now. I think the theaters themselves are struggling, and you have Netflix and Hulu and all these other streaming services and pay services that are able to produce really good things. And you even have Disney going to be doing a Falcon and Winter Soldier series. You have Scarlet Witch. I think you're going to see more and more going to that. And I think also from a cost standpoint, I think it's a little bit more cost effective. I mean, Game of Thrones, I mean, their episodes are some of the most expensive episodes ever. And, you know, last year that you got a dragon, but not a wolf, because it costs, I think, $200 million more to put a wolf in it.
Okay.
You're going to see more and more on the streaming service, because, I mean, it's so much easier to come home and hit the YouTube channel button on my remote and watch everybody, and then go to Netflix, and then end up playing games all night. I mean, there's so much
games.
It's sensory overload.
Video
Pirate Rob.
Germ.
I mean, to talk to your point about movies being in trouble, you got AMC doing this deal now where you pay like $20-$25 or whatever, and you can go see as many movies as you want in a month. 5 years ago, that would have been unheard of. They want to get butts in the seats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
with the AMC thing coming along now, where it's like, you know, you basically pay $20 a month, and then like there's the Movie Pass thing, which I don't know the success of Movie Pass. Yeah, it does seem like the theaters they're trying things different this year than they have been before. Beeler, what were you going to say?
So I wanted to talk about the bubble, and this is the bottom line, and this is the only way that you really need to look at it. The quality determines the bubble. If the quality goes down, the bubble will burst. As long as the quality is there and we enjoy what we're seeing, and this goes on anything. This is not just movies or comics. This is anything. If the quality goes down, people are going to go the other way. If they keep it up like they're doing, and it doesn't look like they're slowing down anytime soon, then that bubble will keep growing and last forever. I think they figured out the formula, or at least, you know, as far as Hollywood, the movie aspect for Marvel, they've figured it out. They're not going to switch it up because they know what works. DC, I have confidence that they're going to find their footing, and once they do, they have a huge library of characters to share with everybody. So in that sense, they're just getting started once they figure it out. I know their movies haven't been very well received so far, but everyone's like, okay, you gave it a shot. It might not hit the mark, but you still have all these great characters that we all know and love, and we want to see good quality movies. And I think that's what we're going to see, especially now with some of the directors that DC is adding to their studio. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't think the bubble is going to burst. I don't think the bubble will burst. For one, I think we're more intelligent than in the 90s. I think we're more well informed. We have a lot of tools at our disposal. You know, we carry our smartphones with us. We're on the ball. We know what we're looking for. You know, in the 90s when the bubble burst, as far as comic books go, nobody knew. I was like, oh, well, yeah, this Death of Superman book is going to be the one. We got to get it. We got to get it. Well, nobody knew that they were just, what was going to happen. But right now we know ahead of time. We can kind of predict like this one's going to do it. Before the book even hits the shelf, people are aware of what's going on. So I think with the education and just the quality of content that people put out, I think the bubble's here to stay. And I think we need to look at it as a big picture. I think we need to look at it and say, yeah, I hear this. People talk about the community as being a small community. You need to drop that saying right now. It's not a small community. It's the biggest community and it's growing leaps and bounds. And that's the way I look at it. There's nothing bigger right now in pop culture than superheroes. That's it. It's hands down. That's it. There's nothing even close to it. And that's the way that I think we have to look at it. And every year going on is just going to explode and go up and up and up. And somebody in the chat said, Pope Cerebus the First said, can you imagine just doing comics full-time, Bueller? That seems like what I'm doing. That's all I do. I have no girlfriend. Nobody wants to go out with me. I'm here every Friday night because nobody's calling on my phone. And that's what I do. I just do comics.
You drink coffee too?
I drink coffee, and I do comics. And you know what?
That's living the dream right there, man.
I'm hitting this head on. When I sat and I said, you know what? When it comes to, I'm really enjoying it. This is my first year back collecting comics, and I found this community that was out there that I never knew existed in the YouTube community, and I'm going full bore and I'm having a blast, and that's what it's about.
I mean, to Bueller's point earlier, I mean, each one of us have all been inspired by what he does. I mean, what he's putting out, the content, and I mean,
I hit him up for advice.
I love the fact. I mean, he's teaching us. He's taught us a ton, and hell, I got a new mic today and a computer that I can't stop looking at.
I got a couple thoughts on the topic.
Please.
I think the bubble is there. For me, the most interesting time is going to be after the next Avengers movie, because I think the bubble will probably go down a little bit and then it's going to grow again. Because let's not get it twisted. Marvel, with their first iteration here, it was lightning in a bottle. They got the perfect actors who all meshed together, and it was amazing. And they've got to do that again. And I think they can, because they've got Kevin Feige, who looks over everything. But, I mean, you could not ask for a better group they're all friends in real life now. Just everything worked out perfectly for them. So, yeah, I think there may be a little bit of a step back, and then they'll build it up again.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing, Paul. You said they got lightning in a bottle. They got lightning in a bottle again. It's called the X-Men, and they're just sitting there. And those guys, if they do that right, it's over, man. It's said and done.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And as far as the point, well movies and
For Bueller.
That's not me. What's going on?
as far as comics ever going away, I don't think it's ever going to happen.
No.
I mean, 6, 7, 8 years ago when digital started out, everybody's like, this is the death of comics. We're still here. I read digital comics. I like reading them when it's particularly an older book or something, but there's nothing like holding that book in your hand.
I agree.
So,
yeah.
Here it is.
My take on the whole bubble situation with films. I feel like there's always a trend in films, and it just recycles anyway. Like how we'll have a bunch of slasher films for a period of time, and then we won't.
Yeah.
But it'll come back in a few years, or we'll have a bunch of romantic comedies, and then we won't. It's the same thing with comic books. I feel like comic books are what's hot right now, and it's going to go away for a few years, but they'll be back.
You're going to see a shit ton of slasher movies now that Halloween came out.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
well, I'm excited about it. But as far as theaters and actual attendance, I feel like if theaters could actually, I guess, control their crowds a little better in some scenarios, that could get more people in the seats. If you follow Mark and I on Instagram, you'll know why we walked out of the new Halloween in theaters, just because of how bad the crowd was. And honestly, I would be down for paying more just to watch it at home when it first came out versus dealing with that crowd of teenagers or college kids or even, you know, some of the grumpy old people that are screaming expletives at the screen because they don't like this or they don't like that on it. And there's that whole scenario as well. But
you also get, like, even in the comic books, in the comic book movies, you brought up a point. I hate going to it and said, you'll see people super cocky and they're like, oh, there's 3 end scenes. Like, and you know they haven't bought a book. They just read.
They
just read the
credits.
spoilers.
They got them.
Everybody's got to start somewhere, man. That's the thing. All these people coming in and checking this stuff out, you know, and all it takes is that kid sitting next to mom saying, "Mom, let's go get a book or whatnot." And what parent's going to tell their kid not to go buy a book? Horrible parents.
Yeah, all I know is, like, most people's grandmas probably know who Black Panther is now. We live in that world, so think about that.
I want to add something real quick on what Bueller said about DC earlier. I think after the Shazam movie comes out, and it's just going to be blowing away the fans, and everyone's going to love it and everything, and all the books are going to skyrocket. That'll suck. I still need to get some, but anyway, yeah, they're going to make Plastic Man. You know, I'm speculating here, but I think that Plastic Man, there's Shazam. That book, that is just a hot book right there. That's
I don't have number 1. Too. I have to settle for 3.
And 3's, I love 3. 3's good.
I have number 1.
But 1 is better. Yeah.
1's the loneliest number, though.
I think Plastic Man, I mean,
Cat,
I think they can make a good movie off that.
Kat, you have nieces or nephews?
I've got both now.
Okay. So I know you're pointing them into the comic book direction. What are they gravitating to?
Right now, my oldest niece, her big thing is Spider-Man. She wants anything and everything Spider-Man. Well, actually, she says Spider-Man, but you know what she's saying. She's 3, and she's not as big into the DC, which kind of breaks my heart. But I'm showing her a lot of the original X-Men, the animated series, and she's loving that. And just seeing her try to, seeing her try to like act out some of those scenes.
You know it is.
I just bought a bunch of these.
That's awesome.
We're gonna play dress up and save the world together. So that should be awesome.
That's for your nieces and nephews, right? Let's get that point across first. Okay, good.
Really?
Well, some of them.
I think we're back to that's another show.
They're munchkins.
Hey now.
Are they like midgets?
No.
No.
That's all right.
Half of my family is, though.
Legend's taking us for a walk through his house. We're taking the tour of the Legend house.
Just as long as he doesn't go into the bathroom.
Oh, hey, nope.
Everyone turns off the stream immediately.
You know, where are the cats?
I got one back here, but I got a great story. So this weekend, I went to meet this artist who lives in the town over. His name is Brent Peoples. Now, some of y'all may know Brent Peoples. He was interior artist on Titans, the DC Titans book. And then he did, of course, New Superman. You know, King Kong, Chinese Superman. I know Bueller loves him, some Chinese Superman. But I got this sketch done. This was at the Dallas Fan Expo last year. And there it is.
You love New Superman almost as much as you love Mark.
I know.
That's not possible.
I love New Superman
I said almost.
But anyway, so what I did, I go down, we meet because I bought a commission off of him, and I got some original artwork from him too. So I'm going to show those. And I wanted to meet JP, but JP, and I've already met JP before, but I wanted to see him, and JP fell asleep. But this one is really cool. This is
JP may still technically be hungover from the Halloween show. Or
check that out. Sorry for the glare.
Man. That's
but
awesome.
it's Jonah
Hex.
freaking Hex. And like he even did some kind of painting down here for the clouds and stuff. It was awesome. So I got that done by him, and it was $100. Just freaking amazing. Yeah. And he had a, if you follow him on Instagram, he has like the little deals on there sometimes. And then he was selling this on Instagram. This is original artwork from the final page of New Superman in the Justice League of China. And this is an homage to the New 52 Justice League #1 Jim Lee style cover, but it's all the Justice League of China.
Man.
It's got he's got a SIG down there, and it's got that blue line paper, and it's actually on top of the blue line paper, and this is a modern comic, so you get to see the modern cardstock they're working on. It has blue lines and borders, but it says DC Vertigo, like DC Vertigo at the top with both of their logos. That looked pretty freaking cool.
That's awesome. I love some original art. All right, so if no one else has anything they want to talk about tonight, it's about 11:30, so I figure we go.
I got a giveaway.
Oh my god, a giveaway!
Holy shit, a giveaway!
Dance break.
Well, what are we giving away this time, Chad?
Well, I can't. Oh, shit, I can't open it.
This book.
We'll do.
Wow, man, look at that statue.
Whoa.
That's Bruce Timm style, isn't it?
Yep, Harley Quinn.
I'm reload. I got to get into the chat real quick.
Hold on.
Yeah, all of a sudden everybody's gonna be like, I have internet problems, and then we're gonna see all these new people in the chat.
Hey, Kat, can I show your prize?
This thing.
Yeah.
So off air, Kat won a prize too, just for showing up.
That's what I get for showing up late. Dang it.
That's my favorite Robin.
Jason Todd. Oh yeah.
All right. So
here we go. Okay.
You got a question there, Woodard?
I guess I got tired of the Wizard, so I'm just gonna ask one like only me and you'll know and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So, who was the penciler on Superboy #1 from 1994?
Really?
If no one gets it, I'll go back to the Wizard, and then we'll all suffer from that. Somebody out there's got to know. He worked on the Reign of the Superman.
The penciler. I've never heard of that villain before. Because DC has some weird villains.
Great Legend says Gary Gamble, no. Joe Sinnott, no. Carl Kessel, no. But that's the writer. Sam's Tangled Web says Kurt Swan. So Samantha Branch is on the right track. Gretzky says Jurgens, no, but this person worked with Jurgens during the death of the Superman. Brandon Stowinski says it doesn't matter who the penciler is. Kind of does, because you get a statue if you guess it.
Matter.
People are Googling it right now because it's the future. You can look on your phone. Wine 49er with the win. Tom Grummett. There we go. Congratulations and welcome to the chat.
He even showed that 49er earlier. He showed the signature.
Yeah, I even showed it. There it is.
The damn Grummett.
The Google food is strong in this one.
Yeah.
So we just found out that Legend has a second account named Winer 49er.
Oh no, I love Wine 49er.
Just kidding, man.
He's one of our best bidders. He buys a lot of stuff. Buys a lot of stuff from us.
Your cat's going to get us banned for pornography.
Whoa. And that's a boy cat.
Hey, I mean, if I could do that, I'd never leave the house.
Oh.
All right, so big congratulations,
Cutie.
Wine 49er, for being a real person like I was when I made my first video. So there's a hidden
Good
Easter
guy.
egg for a couple people. Pope C says Tom Grummett is fantastic. I agree 100%. All right, so like I said, it's about 11:30. We'll go ahead and start final thoughts. So, Catrin Figures, what are your guys' final thoughts? What do you guys got going on your channel this and next week?
Well, we just posted a couple of reviews for both Hex Wives and Heroes in Crisis that just came out. We have a couple hauls coming out and working on a couple other projects behind the scenes right now.
Very good. Yeah, please check out her review. She convinced me to buy a book, and I added it to my pool list after I read it. So absolutely check out Catrin Figures. You definitely will not regret it. Midwest Comic Man, what is going on in your neck of the woods?
We will be seeing more of the greatest comic book for the day, as well as I may be doing some more of my Golden Age artist spotlights. And we'll be doing Blaster Stash It on Sunday, of course, and every Friday on the Comic Corp.
Awesome, man. Well, as usual, we're glad to have you. Legend, it looks like you're having fun with cats and original art. Anything else you got tonight? Because I know you got a lot of stuff going on your channel this weekend.
That's right. We got the Legends live auction tomorrow night at 9 Central. Might see some Brandon Stawinski on there, and any of y'all that want to sell anything, if we got room for you, we'll get you on there. We got some great deals. Then on Sunday, we're going to be reviewing WWE Crown Jewel. Oh. Will it be better than Evolution, or will it be just crappy?
Spoilers, no.
So yeah, and then you never know. I may do some video game streaming. You know, I think my boy Brian Spaceboy 227, he wants to see some of that Red Dead Redemption.
Oh, and Legend, it looks like Jeremy Edwards is saying he might need on your auction too if you still got a spot for him.
Oh, I always got a spot for
yeah,
Jeremy.
Excellent.
Oh yeah, man.
Awesome.
Jeremy, we'll get you in there.
Comics with Bueller. What all is going on? You got a lot going on too. Where do you want to start, bud?
Obviously, if you haven't checked out my stream I did with Comic Tom before this, go check it out. It was a lot of fun. It was my first guest on my channel, and you know, we were looking forward to it, and we really enjoyed it. So check that out. As far as stuff coming up this weekend, I think I have another 50 Cent haul video that I do. I love digging through those boxes, and people really like watching those. I like doing those because they're really easy to do. So I enjoy that. But that should probably be on Sunday. Nothing tomorrow, I don't think. And then Monday, I will be back with my that's right. Monday is my coffee video, and I will be announcing the winner of the giveaway for the month of October. So you're going to want to watch that. And then we're going to start the giveaway because we do a monthly giveaway. We'll start November's giveaway on Monday also. So that's kind of what I got going on. And then, of course, I'll be with you fine gentlemen reviewing that wonderful pay-per-view that we got to watch at 5 o'clock in the morning. That makes sense. Yeah, the Crown Jewel. So we'll be doing that, and that was awesome. And I want to say thanks to everybody in the chat and everyone who came over from my live stream and stuff. I really appreciate it. And everybody who enjoys the Comic Corp and watches us every Friday night, keep on coming back. Tell your friends, man, because we have some fun, and we do it all the time. So we'll see you next Friday.
You want to show what you were giving away real quick? Because you had some phenomenal stuff you were setting up for a giveaway.
Oh, okay. So November's giveaway for the month of November is I got 3 books, right? 3 books right now. So there's this variant cover of Venom, First Host number 5.
That's pretty hot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just a great looking cover.
Who did that cover?
Venom did. And then I got this one, which is Venom number 7. It's the PX preview exclusive, the New York Comic Con variant version.
That's cool too.
And this one's really cool. And then I'm also for November giving away a copy of the Batman book. This has never been opened. It was put directly into a bag, so this is probably a 9.8 if you got it graded. So
these are some good prizes.
Yeah. So that's November's giveaway, and my giveaways are very easy. You don't need to make a video, you don't need to do anything else. All you do is you leave a comment on the copy video, and you're entered. That's all you gotta do. And I don't care what you say. You can say hello, you can say goodbye, you can say question mark. It doesn't matter. But that's all it is, and you get entered. And you can enter If there's 4 coffee videos for that month, it's every Monday, then you have 4 chances of winning. So there you go.
Man, that's awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, you guys be fools not to go check out Bueller's channel. If for some reason you haven't already, those are some awesome prizes. Before we get to chat, I just want to plug my stuff. Oh, I do want to do 2 shout outs first. One, Samantha Branch, who's been in the channel night. She has a Kickstarter going on for her latest comic book. So everyone go to her Kickstarter and please support it so she can get to her goal. And then secondly, keep Miss Hustle in your thoughts. She has a GoFundMe going on right now that everyone should go participate in because she's fallen on hard times. And she is a huge supporter for the community, from the smallest channel to like the Comics with Bueller and Comic Tom 101. So everybody owes it to, you know, especially the content creators, owes it to themselves to help out Miss Hustle earn her time of need. Other than that, you guys probably know my channel by now. I do about 1 hour to 90-minute live stream every Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern on Seawater 19. Other than that, you can find me on the Comic Corp every Friday nights. I'll be a part of the fun we're gonna have with the Brown Jewel Sunday night on Legends channel. The Brown Jewel. I had to say it took me 2 sittings. I'm still not done with that show. So
I would like to point out that you mentioned that you were off work this week and you might get some facial hair. You're almost worthy of being on the show at this point.
I gotta go back to work tomorrow, unfortunately, so it's most likely gonna have to come off. So this is 1 week's worth.
Carson, can I jump in real quick?
Sure.
You brought up Miss Hustle, and I kind of want to say something real quick. There's a few gentlemen on this panel here that have participated in her GoFundMe, and I want to say thank you to those gentlemen that have done. And you guys know who you are. If anyone is able to help her out, there is a GoFundMe, and we'll probably leave a link on this video. It's probably what we should do. If you're not able to help out and you know someone who is, let them know. Just share it, put it on your Facebook, whatever you can do. Just because you're not able to, donate some money, donate some of your time, and maybe one of your friends is able to donate some money. So, and it will really help her out because she does so much for us.
Absolutely.
And she does it unconditionally. She doesn't ask for anything in return. She just does it because she enjoys us and she wants to be part of the community, and she's one of the best members of this community. Anyway, I just want to throw that in and say thank you again to some of you gentlemen that are on this panel that have helped her out. It's very greatly appreciated.
Amen to that. She is the MVP of the comic book community. She does so much for us, and it's good if we can, like Bueller said, share it, get, maybe some of your friends can help, and just, keep her in your prayers and in your thoughts, because Miss Hustle's, she's pretty awesome.
Yep.
All right. So, Chad, I know the tape machines are rolling. We're running out of time. What do you got for us?
I agree about Miss Hustle. I spoke to her earlier in the week, and if you guys can support her, definitely support her. Guys, thanks again. Thanks to the chat. Thanks every Friday night. It's been a blast. We had an idea for a contest, and I'll run it past everybody real quick. Carson, myself, and Bueller, and the Great Legend sometimes play online, and if you guys want us to create you as a contest,
oh no,
we will do a fatal 4-way. And I just need to let everybody know that Bueller right now is the reigning champion.
He's won them all.
Yeah, he loves those multi-man matches.
Mojo Riley.
Mojo freaking Riley. Oh.
But Sting's up in the rafters. It's about to drop down. I'm going to do something I haven't done since before, but we're going to do a hangout afterwards. We're going to go off air. I'm going to throw it in the chat. If you guys
Let's do it. Let's get Galvin in here. Robert freaking Galvin.
And
it's in the chat.
Rock and roll, baby.
If you guys want to hang out, come on. We are going off air, right? Oh, it's too long. Damn, the link's too long.
Silky smooth.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's
Here comes Sting.
Are we,
hold on.
Are we on
going into overtime?
I got this Mac. I don't know how to use it. Copy link, and then you got to go over here to the chat, and it's still going to do it.
Right click left.
Control P.
Samantha Branch is doing the slow clap.
Are we still on air?
Yeah, can somebody else do this?
That's a big link.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Don't forget to like and subscribe. You know what to do. You're still going to see us because we don't know what to do.
I only host until I hand rain set the chat. It's all game now.
This is the professional level of content you can see here on only
delete.
Comic Corp.
I put it in there.
It's in. Good night.
Take it off.